Raghee, how do you pick your trades?
It depends if it's a short term. So how I pick my trades, if you're looking at a short-term trade, clearly I'm going to start with a short-term time frame and make sure that I'm trading at the right time and have a finite list. So if I'm day trading, it'll be Canadian dollar, yen, maybe euro, indices, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, and crude, gold, maybe bonds. So it's a pretty tight list. And I don't think it's realistic to scan thousands of names that you don't have familiarity with day in and day out. If I'm going to include stocks, as I mentioned before, they should be stocks that are heavily weighted within the indices of the sectors that I'm already watching. So I have more of a tide and boats relationship. That's intraday. End of day, it's a lot of what Ina talked about, finding extremes in psychology, finding extremes in different measurements. And in those extremes come the imbalances, and in the imbalances come the trends. So at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is purely a trend. And there's very few traders and investors out there who won't benefit from just a straight, simple uptrend. It could be a macroeconomic driven uptrend. It could be a technically driven uptrend. But when traders and investors say refer back to 2020 and how great it was, that was an anomaly of a year. 2021 is probably more realistic to what someone who's been trading for decades is probably accustomed to seeing. So find the trends, find the corners of the market that have clear trends, whether they're, you're coming across them macroeconomically, as Ina mentioned, using COT or whatever it is, right? And then follow that trend. I think that it's, again, going back to books that I remember reading that were, Schabacher, Wyckoff, Dow. I think the trend is really where most of a longer term, say daily or weekly investor or trader success is going to be found. So I spend most of my time building a watch list. I'm not interested in 97 different strategies and 42 different indicators. Watch list building is number one. Have a good watch list. You're going to have better trades. And I think most traders do the opposite. They're spending all this time on secret squiggle indicators and strategy, and their watch list is almost a throwaway. What's the meme stock of the day, or what's the headline on financial media? And then they scratch their head wondering why they're not succeeding. Build a watch list first, spend most of your time there. And then the strategy actually really reveals itself for the most part.
Yeah, I like what you said about a watch list, because that gives you multiple things to look at. But you don't have to chase every single car. And when your watch list kind of hits certain parameters that you set, then you can say, okay, now this is the right trade. So that way you're not always trying to chase another trade. You got your trades coming to you in a way. And
Sure.
That definitely seems a lot healthier than running after